We're going to work on dropping students in BandWeb today. So to get started, we want to go to the BC webpage. And once we're there, we want to go up to this tab in the top left-hand corner inside BC. Go ahead and click on that. If you're not logged in, you'll need to log in at this point. You'll see I've got my BC email address and then I've got my password and I'll click sign in. If you're already logged into another network application, you probably won't have to do this step. So I'm going to click sign in. And then from there, again in the top left-hand corner, I'll click on My BandWeb. When that opens up, I'm going to click on My BandWeb main menu. And then you'll see a screen that looks like this. Once we get here, we're going to go ahead and click on Faculty Services. So in the middle of those tabs right there, click right there and you should see a screen that looks like this. From this screen, there are a few different ways you can proceed to drop your students, but I'm going to start up here at term selection. So I click on that and select the correct term, which for me is fall 2017. I'll click submit. And then I'm going to go to my CRN selection and choose the course where I'm dropping students. For me, this is that course. If that's not the one that shows up for you, just use the drop-down menu here. And then click submit when you have the right course. And from there, I'm going to go to the registration drop withdrawal. So I click on that, the course that I just chose will show up, and then I'm going to look at my students and drop the ones who either haven't been attending, didn't come the first day of class, or whatever the reason is they're being dropped. So I'm going to go ahead and drop Scooby-Doo did not show up the first day of class, Fred Flintstone did not show up the first day of class, and neither did Superman. So those are my 3 drops that I'm going to do right now. Just check over my list, make sure I don't need to drop anyone else. Then I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and I'm going to click Submit Changes. Once I do that, I'm going to get this confirmation screen for my drops and withdrawals. Those 3 names that I chose show up right here. I just check to make sure one more time that that's correct before I actually drop those students. And if I'm happy with that, I will click yes. Once I do that, I'll get a screen that looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and go back to Faculty Services. The other way that I could do my drops is just to go ahead and click straight on Registration Drop Withdraw, and then if I have multiple courses and terms, that will show up when I click this button. The next thing I want to do though is go to this tab here that says Waitlist. So now I'm going to click on the Waitlist tab. When I do that, it's going to take me to my list of students who are on the wait list, and I'm going to do the same thing I did with the rest of the class. I'm going to drop those students who have not been attending. So I'm going to click on Mike Wazowski. He's not attended class. Peter Pan has not attended class, and neither has Scrooge McDuck. So those are the 3 students on my wait list that I want to drop, and I'll come down here and click Drop Selected Students. And once I do that, I'm going to see this page again that says Confirm these drops. If those are the students that I meant to drop off my wait list, I'm going to click Yes. And then I get an error message, but it's just because of the way my students are set up. You should not see that. You're going to see your wait list again. So I'm going to go back to my wait list because there's a couple other things I want to show you here. At the bottom here, there's a couple other important buttons for you. One says to click to stop the daily roll, and that is moving your waitlisted students into your class, or stop additions to waitlist if you need to click one of those. The other thing that you see here is add more seats to the class. I'm going to click that button because earlier I dropped 3 students from the class, so that opens up 3 seats in my course. So I'm going to say that now there are 3 more seats in this class and hit submit. And then up here, it's very small, but you'll see a little check mark and it says your changes were made successfully or were saved successfully. So that's important to know. So your changes are saved. And now you can go to another class that you need to drop students from, or if that's the only class that you need to do that, then you are done and you have successfully dropped students from both your course and the wait list for that course.